Greetings, everyone. It's Spaceboy, and this is the pre-feed for the Spaceboy Universe show that's live tonight at, I guess it's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, our time. Y'all do the calculations on your part. But I figured I'd start a little bit early with a little tribute there to Gene Wilder, singing Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I have very fond memories of that song, and it takes me back, and it saddens me that we lose him, but at least now he's off with Gilda, and he's happy out there in the universe. So, shall we play some Spaceboy music? I hope we shall. Let's do this. As always, I do a show on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time called Spaceboy Music. It's all part of the Spaceboy Universe Network, but on Wednesday nights, I get to play music from the vault. So if you get a chance and you just want to chill out with the rest of the Space Cadets, we'll usually chat it up in the chat session, and we will play some of my original music that I've produced. So let's go ahead and get some music started, and like I said, it won't be too much longer until the Spaceboy Universe show commences at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So enjoy the music.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love. Critical study. Women engaged in serious thought. Reflections of both about reality. Solutions to issues with society. Such discourse in public gains public opinion.
Women extremely rational. Man relies on intellect. Both devoid of emotions and feelings. Thoughts abstract on a general level. Such discourse in public gains public opinion. Both are profoundly tender.
Passionate affection for each other.
The need to embrace and kiss.
Benefit greatly from the knowledge of love. Such discourse in public gains public opinion.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love.
Minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Space Boy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Space Boy Universe, featuring Space Boy and the lovely Solana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations, it's Space Boy!
And I am Solana.
And this is Space Boy Universe. Hey folks, it is September 3rd, 2016, and this is show number 052. Tonight's topic is Topic Roulette. We'll spin the ball, and where it drops, nobody knows. Hey, as always, if you want to follow us, you can do that on Twitter. That's at the SBU Universe. Follow Sirlana at Sirlana. And, of course, me, your lovable Space Boy, at Spaceboy Music.
And remember to hashtag your tweets with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets.
Hey, you want to hang out with the Space Cadets? You can do that by going to spaceboyuniverse.com. Click on the dancing chat bubble that's in the player at the top, and it'll get you in with all the cool kids.
And in addition, you can find the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Just search for Spaceboy Media.
Sirlana, speaking of YouTube, you can find more than just the Spaceboy Universe archive of shows. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more.
And if you can't catch the show live, that's no problem. Take the universe with you on the go via Spreaker, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
Because we love broadcasting. So, Sirlana, how about that intro?
Yeah, it's the new intro.
No intro. If you listen to the music intro has changed a little bit. It has Savannah, our virtual assistant.
Took out some of the ego.
Because we were recommended to try to balance out the universe, and I think we're trying to make those steps a reality, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fine with the way it was.
No, but I felt like it needed to be balanced out. Anything. I mean, and as much as you've told the audience, I do have an ego.
It's true. It's all true.
But you are an ego wrangler.
That's why you need me.
I mean, behind her, she has the cue cards that say, "Careful, Icarus." I mean, so, yeah, she tries to keep me from flying too close to the sun many times. But, this is a softer, gentler Space Boy now. I know it's hard to believe, isn't it? So, it's been a crazy week, and I see all the wonderful Space Cadets tuning in. Welcome, Tina. Thanks for tuning in. James Cruz in the house. I think I saw Ronald there for a minute or two.
He did.
Dennis, as always, a big supporter of the universe. We appreciate you being there.
Who did we miss?
Yeah, did we miss anybody?
I think somebody is off on vacation this weekend. You know what I mean?
K28.
K28.
Well,
but my dear friend is in there.
Yeah, Holly. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. And of course, there's the other James. Thanks for stopping by. And did I mention Fran? Fran, how could I forget Fran? My soulmate when it comes to sci-fi and geek culture, and she knows I love her, so I like to give a shout out to her.
Fight Club must have gotten canceled.
But it is good to see all of y'all there. I think maybe even Tanner might be showing up. I think I saw him pop up on one of my social medias, and so if not, shout out to Tanner anyway. He's a big Space Cadet supporter. So, I could keep rambling here.
No work Monday.
No work Monday. Yes, Labor Day, my first day. I started the new job, and it's very nice. It's stress-free, and I got a window seat now. I didn't have a window seat before, which is pretty exciting. So I get to watch people outside my window now.
You get to watch the circus that's outside.
Now, I exactly. I'm glad you brought that up because I recently posted on the Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, about 3 things that bugged me about having the window now.
Oh.
And there's 3 types of people that have been outside the window.
Oh, when you say windows, you mean a physical window, not
physical window.
Windows, the OS.
No, not the OS.
Because we're tech people.
Yeah. So basically, you have the smoker. And, we have a designated smoking area for the people to go to where they can go, but they've gone right in front of my...
They ignore that and just do whatever.
In my plain view, I'm not saying... I'm not bashing anybody who wants to smoke. Hey, if you want to do it, whatever. Just don't do it in front of the window. Then there's the second type of person who is like, I guess, the talker. And they present, I guess they go right up to my window and they're like talking and it's so loud that I can hear them through them. And I'm like, really? You're going to pick this spot out of all the real estate that you have out there and talk so loud? And then there's the third one that I labeled the zoo. And then what that is it's the person who comes up, looks into the window like, hey, what's going on? It's like
like you're on display.
Like I'm on display. I'm like, you know,
You're going to make me call.
when I'm not some...
You're not an animal.
I'm not an animal, you know, and, you know, two, I haven't been abducted by aliens and put me in some cube. So some, you know...
You can't prove that you haven't been.
Zoological thing out in the universe. But I felt like, you know, there's been a couple of times where I felt like that baboon that we saw in the I guess, the media thing that's out there where the kids were antagonizing the baboon, and the baboon went crazy and picked up some poo and threw it at the girls, and I guess taught them a lesson.
Yeah, I'm on the baboon side.
So I have to say that I don't think that would go over very well if I grabbed some excrement and tried to
no,
toss
not
it.
as a human being.
So those are the three things. And somebody was saying to me the other day, like, hey, man, you know, be thankful you have a job now. I mean, I am, but this is
I'm sorry. Hashtag baboon butt justice.
Yeah, so if you want to tweet that, go ahead and tweet it. This would be a good time to do it. But so it's not like I'm, you know, complaining that I hate my job. I like my job new. It's bringing income in, which we've needed. And I just, you know me, how I like to rant about certain things and kind of go from there kind of thing, you know. So, but beyond that...
It's fun when you rant sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I there's been some times that I thought that you were about to lose it when I've ranted about something, and when I rant, it's not like I'm taking it too serious. Just for example, like the baboon excrement thing.
Well, just like today and yesterday's conversations in the cars, I'm so glad nobody was, you know, recording those.
And now I'm trying to think of what we were talking about. Oh, you just
just weird stuff.
Got paranoid because I used to have a camera. Okay, let's back up and explain this real quick. We watch an excessive amount of YouTube. You know, go through the universe and see whatever is out there.
I can watch YouTube. I'd rather watch YouTube than the top 85 funniest sitcoms ever made.
I mean, it's just a different world we live in, where you know you can find good content.
I would rather sit down and watch a cell phone video of some rednecks trying to light a hornet's nest on fire than watch all episodes of Seinfeld for free.
Well, hold on, we're going to get to that one, and
yeah, we'll get to all that stuff later.
But as far as YouTube is concerned, we watch a lot of dash camera action on YouTube, where a lot of the Russians have these cameras, I guess, for insurance purposes, because you know
we need a team too.
Russians are pretty aggressive drivers, and even their pedestrians are like, "Go ahead, run over me. You see if I care," kind of thing, you know. So you know, we watch a lot of that, and so over time, like I bought one of those cameras for my car because I do a lot of driving, and I was going to different places, and I wanted to have a record in case something happened to my driving. So that the camera broke, and so that's when Solana brought up today, like, good thing you don't have that in here because it would record.
It was recording our conversations.
It was recording our conversations.
I was getting really paranoid.
I was actually being Big Brother in this situation, so. But, yeah, so did you want to bring up that topic of the YouTube thing? I mean, I don't want to get you out of order, but...
What? Oh.
Yeah, you saw this video, and you shared it with me.
Oh.
It was pretty bizarre.
Well, you know, there's everything on YouTube, and I got sucked into these series of videos that was trying to show me about people trying to remove hornets' nests and yellow jackets' nests. I think they're a little bit more aggressive than the wasps that we have to deal with. But they were, you know, and some of it were professionals like pest control, and some of it were just people like poking at it with a stick, being an idiot.
Right.
And there's this one guy. The whole video was just the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. First of all, the first half of the video, he's narrating it, and he puts this echo effect on everything he says, and it's just. And
then the music that was playing.
And then near the end of the music, it was like the 1812 Overture or something with this classical music, and But here's where it goes. I had so many questions. I almost woke you up. This was 2 a.m. I was watching on my phone, on the headphones, under the covers.
Which, by the way, real quick, I always like doing that. I've done that to you too, where I don't want to wake you up, but I want to send you this because
I'll email it to you.
I'll forget about it or whatever. So go on.
But I wanted to wake you up to ask you, are Hornets/Yellow Jackets, was one of those two, naturally attracted to hot dog wieners with googly eyes wearing a T-shirt?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she did not stutter. In this video, this guy dresses up a wiener with
A hot dog wiener.
with those googly eyes and marks like a mouth on it. And
He
then
puts on a little
he even went
cloth T-shirt on it.
He went to the extreme of putting a little T-shirt on this wiener.
And then he ran some metal, a wire up in the middle of, lengthwise.
Yeah, this was some kind of conductor to where it could
He
arc.
built a little cage out of not chicken wire, but some kind of mesh like that.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of bended it around into a cylinder. And then he hung it off the side of his drain pipe, because that's where they were swarming.
Or the gutter,
and
yeah.
then he hoisted the hot dog up there and put electricity through it. So
well, here's the creative thing he did. He used a monitor.
he seems speechless in chat.
A monitor that had because they have a high capacity monitor that can generate a lot of electricity through it, and he plugged that monitor in, but he wired it from that monitor so that the electricity would arc. And so he was really getting creative with this. I thought when he pulled that monitor apart, I was like, wow.
The narration at the beginning, his attitude, and he was sort of running back and forth, leaping at the spout of his sighting. And
to be honest with you, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of some of those. What is it that the other channel we listen to or watch is the Dark Something 5 or Dark
5 or something.
Dark 5, where they do some like interweb or deep web stuff, and this what it reminded me of one of these creepy videos.
No, this is very benign.
I mean, not creepy in the sense of
what
of those videos, but it was in that vein of because it had that weird music. It had the guy. It almost seemed like
the narration at the beginning was very strange.
This wasn't like, oh my balls, I just fell on a skateboard and it racked me, or kind of something like that. This was kind of really, and it wasn't your typical kind of.
He even titled it something like Hornets, Yellow Jackets, Jihad, and it went on like battle, and then it was really strange titled. But what got me was he showed the hot dog wiener on the ground,
right.
And it was covered in dots with stingers.
And then it was on top of a mound of all the hornets that he had electrocuted.
Oh, the dead, yeah.
I mean, it was a good handful, like half the size of a basketball, of all these hornets that he had killed. And but did you actually have the link to that? You can put that out there, or?
If y'all are desperate for it, I'll find it for you.
Trust me, it's very interesting if you can get a chance to look at it. And,
tweet at me. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Going on to other things, did you happen to see Flea playing bass with Coco the gorilla?
Yes, I did.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that gorilla
is
something
old.
else. Well, I mean, been around for a long time.
Yeah, she has.
I think that I like the one where I've seen videos of her when she was with Robin Williams.
Yes, that's a classic.
And she knew of him, and I think didn't he visit several times?
She wanted to drag him back into the back room and get to know him, if you know what I mean.
But I guess because he was pretty hairy too.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But yeah, it was really interesting to see Coco the gorilla playing bass. I mean, she picked it up, and it's like she was almost gonna hold it properly like a normal, but then she kind of picked it up and kind of patted on it. But there's another great video of Flea, of all people, playing bass with Coco.
I'm sure for Flea that's like a normal Tuesday.
Yeah, it was good. What else you got over there, Solana?
Well, I didn't really prep for Banner. I prepped for the show.
Well, this is the show, so I mean, let's. If you got something to bring to the game, or did your computer just crash or something?
No, I didn't know you were going to do this, honestly. We did get the waffle maker.
Yeah.
But we're missing some ingredients to make the batter, so that's like our status symbol of we finally made it back after the last 3 months of the dark time.
We treated ourselves to a waffle iron because I guess it was before.
We don't want to brag or flaunt our good fortune, but we got a waffle iron.
We broke down and got a $17 waffle iron.
We bought 17 waffle.
Well, a $17 waffle iron from Walmart.
We'll only do that if we win the lottery.
Yeah. So we win the lottery. We'll buy 17 waffle irons and make bunches of waffles. But yeah, I think I drove Solana crazy.
We'll rent a convention center and have a waffle thing for our fans if they come to Houston.
I think I drove her crazy, and every time I was singing making bacon pancakes, and we hadn't gone to Denny's in a long time, and so
that's because we've been
we went
under a dark cloud.
We went through the dark times of delivering the ring to the volcano and the adventures we had along the way. But anyway, waffle iron, yes. Waffles tonight? No, but next week, maybe. Well, speaking of next week, we've got Micah Hanks on. He's going to be with us. He'll be our guest extraordinaire, and no telling where the conversation is going to go with Micah because he's so intelligent.
I'll have to go listen to his show and do some research because I'm not familiar with him. I mean, I know who he is through you.
Mm-hmm. He is packed full of information. And,
does he know who you are?
I'm sure he knows now that I've talked to him several times, and of course. What else did? So that's going to be a good show next week. Not to say tonight's not a good show because we're just randomly talking about things that have come through the course of the week.
And this is we're into September now. It's a significant month because the 28th is our actual date, but the closest Saturday to that is the 24th. Right. So that's going to be our 1-year anniversary show. Yeah,
I can't believe we've been doing this for a year now. It's pretty exciting to reach this milestone, and as I've explained, I guess in previous shows, the naming convention for the show will change a little bit. Currently, as you know, we use a 0 at the beginning of our show number. The only difference will change is that 0 will become a 1. So it's kind of like that this
y'all didn't know this was the pilot season, did you?
This has been the pilot season to see if Solana would last the full year and see how it would go.
There hasn't been a divorce yet, so it must be working.
Never. We're meant to be forever, and ever, and ever. So
don't make it sound like a punishment.
No, I care about you. I love you.
That's so comforting. Thanks.
And that's the dynamics of our relationship. So what else you got going on? Well, I mean, I know you've got your topics. Pick one of your topics that you...
Are we starting?
Yeah, we've been started.
Oh, I thought we were doing the break thing. And
no, we're going to do the break at the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
And so...
what I've done, if you want me to start, do you want to pick a topic at random? Otherwise, I'm going in alphabetical order according to the categories.
My topics, I didn't break them down into the thing. I just... topics that I would normally talk about. So, if you have a topic you want to bring up that's first on your list, then let's go ahead and hit it and talk about it. And by the way, if you do want to call in and put your 2 cents in, the
I'll
numbers.
Put the number. We're not waiting until the end.
Yeah, 713-701-5214. So you can call.
It's kind of an open call night. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, this is open night. So what you got, Solana?
The internet police are here.
Oh, they are?
Check the chat.
Okay. All right.
Are you chained to your desk? Nope. So the first thing I got, something that has fascinated me for a while, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, is the mysterious Voynich manuscript.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that? It's a 200-plus page book. It's written in this unrecognizable language nobody can decipher.
And plant life that's...
It's got illustrations of vivid, colored plants, herbs, and naked women. And they named it the Voynich because of a Polish book dealer who found the book, in his library. But it belonged to the Italian Jesuits back in 1912. Mm-hmm. So after spending the past 50 years in the vault at Yale University, it's back, and there's a Spanish publisher who's won the rights to replicate it. So maybe now, when it gets released out to the public, people might have we may have more of a chance at deciphering it.
That's exciting. I know that book has been around for a while, and I didn't realize that the masses didn't have access to it.
So they're going to print replicas, and now we'll all be able to look at it.
Well, that will be interesting. Pick it up on Amazon? I guess at some future date or something.
Well, maybe.
Like that?
So, I just didn't know if you heard that. The other thing I've got under history, because it's history making.
Okay.
It's the biggest astronomical discovery of the century is what they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
Proxima Centauri may have a small dwarf star 4.2 light years away, and it could have a planet habitable with liquid water. And even though it's somewhat closer than what we're used to seeing, astronomers can't view Proxima b with a telescope because there's a glare coming off of Proxima Centauri. But they're hoping that our next generation of technology will overcome that. Mm-hmm. But they say it's a potential target for future robotic exploration. And it's going to already being explored through something called Breakthrough Starshot Initiative, which is privately funded by a Russian entrepreneur, Yuri Milner, famed theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. And they want to create and send an ultra-fast, light-driven nanocraft the size of an iPhone to Alpha Centauri within 2 or 3 decades.
Right.
We'll all be dead by then.
A nano type spacecraft to go take pictures and post to Facebook, no less, right?
If Facebook exists, then.
I'm sure it will. I mean, they're out for world domination, aren't
But
they?
I mention that because it ties in with a fringe science topic I picked out. Because this thing has been just discovered, Proxima, they're saying that it's resurfaced this old notion of 8-foot aliens from
Now, can you hear us now?
Is it working now?
Testing 1, 2. I wonder how long we've been off. All right, so Space Cadets, let us know that you can hear us now and that the sound quality is great. And
No.
I wonder what happened there.
No, she says that.
Dead space. So give it a second. Fran, yes. And just so I can talk so there's no dead air as we're... It's back.
Okay. I don't know where we left off.
I don't know where we left off either. So you were talking about...
Can y'all type in the Spreaker chat what's the last thing you heard? If you don't mind. Somebody. Maybe Dennis.
And it is all good now. I guess everybody's saying...
Well, what did you do?
I don't know what I did. I went to type a message and thought everybody was... everything. Let's proceed with this. So basically you were talking about how Facebook was going to send this phone-sized craft to Proxima
B.
And then
3 decades from now, probably,
right.
we'll all be dead.
And then you started talking about this alien with...
well, the reason... And I found these stories separately. So because they found Proxima B in this Proxima Centauri system, this has now resurfaced an old chestnut about the Xenos humanoid race from Proxima Centauri.
Right.
It's a conspiracy theory that these 8-foot tall aliens from Proxima Centauri have been visiting us since ancient times. And there was some woman who was undergoing hypnotic regression or hypnosis of some kind. And through her, some alien being confessed that he is been to Earth, or he's on Earth and has been visiting, and his name was Hans, or they referred to him as Hans, because he has 8 of them.
Okay, so who referred to this alien as Hands? And I mean, who gave him the nickname? Was it the aliens? Because you know what this reminds...
You know, it sounds like something we do.
This reminds me of that animation thing I just recently saw called Go Home or something like that, where the alien got the nickname of O. Like, because every time he would show up, the aliens would go, oh... And so that's how he got his name.
Well, that's like DS9.
Now I'm worried that, you got this alien pervert that, we call him Hands because he's always hands-on with everything.
We now have 4 James. It's a full house.
Hey, all right. So, but yeah, that makes me a little... I mean, so they had multiple hands, correct? Did they describe the alien any further than that?
All I can tell you is if you want to know more about this, there is a book called Hands, The True Account, a hypnotic subject reports on outer space, and it was published in 1976. He's called Hands because he had 8 of them. He also said he had multiple hearts, and they're 5 times stronger than humans. And I'm like, okay, well, sure, 8 hands are stronger than 2. They don't need sleep. They suffer no diseases. They live about 120 years. I'm guessing that's Earth years. They have elongated skulls, big hands, and skins with huge pores. And alien folklore also describes them as spacefaring beings wearing gray suits and helmets. And they travel in spaceships that look like a spinning tape recorder. And allegedly they've visited Taiwan in 2012. Yeah. And it attracted the attention of members of the online alien and UFO conspiracy theory community. And they said they cited this being. And I can link you to a YouTube vid of that if you want to.
Well, I would definitely like to check that out because I haven't seen or heard anything of this sort. And I would like to know more about Hands. And, that sounds interesting. And maybe that gives a better description of the alien itself. And is it like a mantis kind of thing, or
don't know,
a humanoid head? I mean, that's what I'd be curious to know. Because we've heard and seen so many reports of the different types of aliens that are out there. Some valid and some that are off the deep end. But Hands, it just kind of cracks me up because it reminds me of that animated thing. Oh.
Yeah. Well, you remember on DS9, Deep Space Nine. Odo was named because that's what Cardassian or something, or it's Bajoran for unknown sample or unknown species. Odo.
Yeah.
But now, if we want to get a little dose of reality on all this, Cornell University astronomers say they're telling us, but if we want to make formal contact with an alien / ET, it's going to take 1,500 more years. They're saying because space is so immensely, mind-bogglingly big, even at the speed of light, it takes an incredible amount of time for communication of any kind to reach anywhere to any significant portion of the galaxy. And this is Evan Solomondis, a Cornell physicist and math major, told the Huffington Post, we clearly show that human communication has reached a sphere with a radius of roughly 80 light years and has not reached a number of stars and planets adequate to expect an answer. Sure, we've got limitations, but what about somebody else out there? Maybe they're not as limited as we are.
Speaking of how limited we are, let's go ahead and take our break right now, and then when we come back, we'll continue this subject matter of contacting aliens and many other topics tonight, and we'll take your calls, so don't touch that dial.
I'm from another planet. I'm from another planet. Can you hear me? Answer me. Can you hear me? Answer me.
Mark your calendars. The Houston Mini Maker Faire will be at the George R. Brown Convention Center for a 2-day event on November 12th and 13th. Come join them and be a part of their growth story as they boost invention and creativity through the greater Houston area by developing a world-class exhibition. Stay tuned to the official Houston Mini Maker Faire website at www.houstonmakerfaire.com to hear more insights about content, schedule, tickets, and maker exhibitor registration.
Hello Space Cadets. It is announcer Savannah. I want to tell you that as a dedicated member of the SBU team, you always want to look your best. Do it in a Spaceboy Universe t-shirt. Get yours at spaceboyuniverse.com by clicking the banner on the website.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mama Nim I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Explore the universe, spaceboyuniverse.com. Spaceboy. And Sirlana. Spaceboy, and Sirlana. Spaceboy, and Sirlana. Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sirlana on spaceboyuniverse.com.
Hey, Solana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at SpaceboyMusic.com.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Solanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
Greetings everyone. You can catch Spaceboy Universe on every Saturday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. However, we know that you might not be able to catch the live show. That is why we have many places to listen to it on demand, like iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube and Spreaker. So take the universe with you wherever you go.
To call in, dial area code 713-7015-214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
Hey, during the break, I noticed that Dennis posted, I guess, either a retweet or something related to your Proxima thing.
Yes.
And that's what I was thinking. Is the alien head looks kind of mantis looking.
Really?
So I'm not surprised with the head like that, but that is one thing that I would not want to see down a dark alley, either day or night.
No, I don't think so. I was just one of the bumpers that we made was Space was trying to do the Star Hustler. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember the Star Hustler from PBS. He'd come on right before PBS would go off the air in your market, and he would tell you about what you could see in the night sky tonight, and he had that strange car salesman energy and all that stuff, so that's what he's trying to do. Sorry, I keep moving these headphones. I'm not used to them. They're brand new, and they're squeezing my head.
By the way, I just want to let you know that you sound great with that headset we just got you, because, the mic is right on you. Before, you had like a stationary mic, and you'd get this, kind of like in and out kind of thing. But no, I'm glad we opted to get that.
He kept saying, "Oh, you're so distant from the microphone." I said, "Yeah, I'm emotionally distant from it too."
So let's pick up where we're talking about.
We're talking about Cornell
Yeah.
astronomers saying we're not going to make contact with another alien life form, if there is one, for 1,500 years.
I'm going to tell you to stop scratching my head, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help. I'm not used to this.
Okay.
But they're saying because of our limitations, they're not going to pick up on any of our signals. But my word is, Mike, okay, if you are gonna theorize that they are out there, maybe they have better ways of picking up us than we have of transmitting. So, they're saying the Fermi paradox and humanity may very well be contacted within our species lifespan. So you and I may be dead, but it could be like further down the line somebody could get contacted.
Well, it's interesting you bring up contact because, I'm currently reading a book called The Holographic Universe. Where
I'm so happy you're reading a book, by the way.
Please.
A physical book.
By Michael Talbot. And
Talbot?
Talbot, yes, thank you. And so, they're saying that the universe could be holographic for us. And I think somewhere in there that I haven't gotten to yet, that I've kind of, like I said, I'm scratching the surface on this because I want to make a show out of this because I think the subject matter is fascinating.
Means I got to read it too.
Well, I got the book. You can read it too. So, yeah. Yeah. You want to know how Solana reads? Listen to this. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, that's how she reads a book. I mean, I have to stew on it and,
I was an English major. I had to learn to read for speed.
Yeah, so, she's kind of like Fran will get this reference. When they show the Flash on TV and he goes through through a book and then he's done and he absorbs that knowledge. That's Solana. And it's a talent that I'm envious of her, but I've never been, and it's time for Spaceboy to make an honest thing here. I do enjoy reading, but for me, I enjoy it's textbooks, books that's like how to build something. When it comes to
you read articles online.
I do. I read
for the show.
I read articles online.
It's not like you don't read ever.
I read many. Yeah, it comes across that it doesn't seem like I read. I can't read. I can. I just choose to read certain things.
If Spaceboy were to tell me right now, you know what, I got this, you're excused from the broadcast, I would throw these headphones down and go grab my Kindle and just start reading.
Well, she does that every night when we're going to bed. She'll has her Kindle on her iPhone, and she'll reads a book. And I love her to death because this is one of those yin to my yang kind of situations where she's excellent at absorbing information through books, and me, it's more, I don't want to say I'm a light reader. I read a lot as a kid, and then I got older. My reading became more like, how can I read something that'll help me get ahead, kind of situation. I need something that'll give me the answers. Boom, here's a book. Read it. Here's the tech manual. Read this. So that's how my reading...
Mine is for escapism.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I was going to get at, is that my reading is more for the knowledge base, and her reading is more for enjoyment. And I don't read for enjoyment, and that may be sad, but as a kid I did. Many books I've read as a kid, but I digress. So when I was talking about this holographic universe thing, I think it ties into communication instantly anywhere. And so can you imagine that maybe aliens are out there are communicating via the holographic universe kind of situation where they're sending messages instantaneously from wherever they're at in the universe and just tapping into the system of things, like subspace communications in Star Trek.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around what you're saying.
And I know it seems a stretch now, but trust me, when we get more information and study this, we're going to have a great show on the holographic universe.
Well, math and science escapes my comprehension. It's difficult.
Your yang to my yin. So, it just goes that way. So that's why we make up the great dynamic duo of Spaceboy Universe. So... Did I miss anything other than the communication of? I know that recently SETI had gotten a communication, another WOW kind of situation, but it turns out that it's not aliens. It was something else.
Of course. It's never going to be aliens.
It's never going to be aliens. So that was kind of disappointing because they were like, ooh, this is cool. And then, oh, how sad.
Just turn that big satellite dish into a skate park.
Apparently, Steve didn't turn off his phone, and that's what they were picking up. So, yeah, too many Steves. But going back real quick, since we're on this alien trip.
Yeah, I got one more when you're done.
Yeah, is that the Facebook had recently tried to launch a satellite into space, and it blew up. Now, there's a picture out there that's kind of being pushed across the universe or across the internet where it shows an orb-type thing in the picture right before it explodes. Did you happen to get a chance to see that?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that, but go ahead and tell me about it.
Well, it is shake and bake. Picture shows the rocket about to go into space, and on the launch pad it explodes, but in the distance you see a picture or a thing, an orb type thing. I think, did you have the link to that picture? I think I sent that to you to post out there for all the space cadets. But yeah, you space cadets, the ones I'm talking to now, check out this picture. It's pretty bizarre. I'm not big on orbs when it comes to the paranormal, but this particular picture makes you go, and wonder if there is some kind of outside presence to destroy the Facebook satellite thing.
If it was, that was a good call on their part, I think. I would like to leave Facebook if I could, but how would I keep in touch with some certain people? But
we are trapped into Facebook.
We're trapped, but I have a crazy off the wall conspiracy theory about Facebook.
Okay.
I think that Facebook is going to become mandatory, like you won't be able to get a Social Security card or something like that unless you have a Facebook, so you can be fully, it's just another way to fully monitor you and your mindset and what you believe in and how you're going to vote and what you think, so you can be, like if you're not thinking like the way people in charge want you to, they can monitor what you've been saying and I don't know, find a way to manipulate you.
Well, I was listening to a talk show the other day, and I was telling you all the things that Facebook basically keeps records on, and you'd be surprised. And like your house and how much square footage is in your house, to what political leanings you have. I mean, because they're collecting all this. And then you said that I mentioned that you're connected to somebody, and you said no, I'm not. But I said, well, they can extrapolate that by saying if that person's on Facebook and you're on Facebook and you have a job here and they have a job here, and then they compare titles, they can make a general connection.
You must know each other, but you're not connected
yet. Yes, at some level. And I'm sure at some point in the future you'll see, hey, well, you kind of already do see it when Facebook says, hey, you should know this person, because this person's connected to so many other people that
then it shows you like, hey, do you want to be friends with this person?
Exactly.
No. But I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, Fran, when we get to technology. But I think they're gonna be monitoring us for their own purposes.
They're going to be. They already are.
I mean, there's going to be a darker thing behind it.
The 1984 is here. Today. I mean, and Facebook is the holder of all that information. I mean, the only other entity I can think of that can collect or come close in any way would be Google. I mean, between the two companies, I'm sure. I mean, they're like the modern day, know it all, Big Brother. Exactly. Yeah. So, but and I know you were going to add something beyond this, but Facebook, it's too late. They know everything about you.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
And in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. So
I try to stay somewhat neutral. I never post anything about my religious beliefs or anything with politics, so I keep people guessing. I'll go in there and fuss about some things, but I try to keep stuff generic. Never mention names.
That's one. I'm kind of the same way in that sense. Is that I look at when I make my post. I post stuff that I like, and that stuff like can range from space to comics to basically the main topics that we cover for the show: fringe science, music, technology, pop culture, games, and history. Beyond that, I don't stray into politics because that would just kill half my friends. And why do I want to do that? I want to be friends with everybody. And as much as I tell you all the time, and you've seen it, I have friends of different leanings altogether. Mm-hmm. And I encourage let me rephrase that. I like talking to people that have different points of view because it gives me an insight that if I don't talk to those people, then I'm just being closed-minded and not being open.
But not everybody else thinks that, and their gut reaction to see you posting like, well, he's wrong, I'm going to unfriend him, but that's right. You can't do anything about childishness.
So I tried, and that's I think why we both we're limited as far as what we post and interact with, and I think there's an old Texas phrase that even though a girl like you from Louisiana can appreciate is, oh, bless your heart.
Well, bless your heart.
And then move on. So
now there's two instances we mean that. One is you pitiful, ignorant, pathetic excuse. And then there's the bless your heart, like it really does mean, well, bless your heart. I hope things work out for you generally, and I wish things were better. So you have to really listen to context when someone says that to you.
So at the end of the day, to reassure the Space Cadets, we love you all. We value your opinion, and whatever it is, we'll listen to it and digest it, and we won't be closed-minded to whatever.
Paid for you by the campaign for SBU.
Yeah, campaign to elect Space Boy, the next president of the United States.
All right. What else you got in this category? Because I got one more.
Well, I think you had the one more, and then,
I saw this one.
Yeah.
I think I went to like UFO News. I Googled that.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a video.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I'm going to link you to the site where I saw there's one in color and one in kind of like security footage, black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I am posting the link now into Spreaker chat. And this is Peru, August 22nd, 3:30 a.m. security camera footage of a gas station. Curious security cam footage of some kind of object floating / walking from one part of the perimeter of this gas station around to another. I mean, it never actually comes onto the gas station's property, but it's in the field of view of this camera very easily. It starts off kind of nothing special, low-key, and you don't know where to watch at the beginning, so keep your eyes trained on the left side towards the back wall. And I had to rewind and keep looking like, where did this thing originate? So this thing sort of keeps its distance. It takes a while for anybody else hanging around the gas station to notice it. But these people kind of like, these guys amble over to it. It was reported to be 1 meter high. They said it had several legs with an upper dome and lights. And it alternately walked / floated in front of them. And then it shows the video shows that it sort of wanders off into a busy traffic like highway or something,
mm-hmm.
and it looks like it disappears, like it got hit by a huge truck. But I looked at it and I looked at it and looked at it, and I said, it moves like a drone. It moves like a drone someone dressed up.
Okay, so let me put my
but
2
why
cents,
let a car hit
2 cents into this one. When I looked at that thing, you know what it reminded me of? You remember the paranormal thing that we saw of these things walking in the woods?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is what it
that
reminded
was Yellowstone.
And how, because I could
night footage.
See it seemed to me, because it seemed like they float.
Mm-hmm.
They have kind of a walking kind of thing going
I never
on.
saw them float. I just saw them. It's like they're on stilts.
Yeah, stilts, but they do have kind of a float to them as they're walking. And when I saw that, that's immediately what I thought.
I don't think it's otherworldly or anything. Mm-hmm. I think it's just somebody took their drone and dressed it up.
And of course, I didn't see any lights that they're talking about. Now, immediately,
I did.
When I initially saw the first one, I saw it in color.
Yeah.
And
I saw both.
It took me. Well, I think they tried to do the black and white, or it was mosaic, or whatever they do to kind of make it kind of pop.
Yeah, they're trying to see what the
right.
Yeah, trying to look for funny business.
My thing, yeah. Speaking of funny business, I thought that the colorization of the object that was being on the colored version was not. It seemed fake, and in the sense that the way the brightness was and the way it stood out versus the rest of the lighting that was out there. I mean, when I say fake, I'd say there was a part of my mind that was like maybe 30% fake that I'm looking at it because of that colorization. And then I immediately thought of the entities that we saw in that forest video and that one scene from
Fact or Faked.
Fact or Faked. I had to say that politely. Mm-hmm. And, where they tried to mimic that same entity that happened in, I don't remember the location, but I remember the team going out there to try to reproduce the issue. So that was what I looked at. But I'm interested how your opinion, you think that it was a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Are you basing that off of what you saw? Or
because the way it moved, I think they may have dressed it up to where it has some kind of long, tentacle-looking things, and maybe it touched the ground. That part touched the ground, and maybe it looked like it's walking.
Well, let me ask you this: in the testimony that you did read, did they mention anything about loud sounds or? Because now
I don't think so.
Because I'm reminded back. I don't know how long ago, how many Halloweens where they did take a drone and they made a ghost fly kind of thing and freaked a bunch of people out. Do you remember that video where?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was obvious.
Yeah. So my thing was that thing. If it was a drone, it'd probably make a significant amount of noise.
Several legs, upper drone, different lights, walking and floated, faced 10 workers, armed security personnel. In the anticipation of the workers, as they walked toward it, it kind of anticipated them and floated away. Mm-hmm. And crossed the road to apparently being rammed by a huge cargo truck, which practically crossed inexplicably. Dr. Anthony Choi is in charge of the research to look at the video. Mm-hmm. So they didn't mention any sound.
Or any debris from watching
the thing about it was not any hurry. It wasn't like booking it or anything. It was just sort of like casually
it wasn't
floating
like
away,
zipping away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I did get a sense that when they went after it, it kind of like was making a beeline away from them. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it like was trying to get away from them or not, whatever. But it just seemed like, okay, I've been noticed. I need to move off. But that is an interesting video, to say the least. And
I like looking at stuff like that
and
trying to figure out what it could be.
I think in this situation, I have my opinion, but I'd like to hear what the Space Cadets have to say about this video and their thoughts. I'm not 100% sold on the fact that it's extraterrestrial myself.
Yeah, it's too.
It just seems odd, and of course that makes me worry that what is it going to take to actually be convincing to, be videotape something, because you have these UFOs that get filmed, and it's all shaky, and then
you would think somebody would have rushed it and tackled it.
With technology the way it is now, where you have 4K cameras now, mm-hmm. and but I mean the video in here is pretty sharp. I mean, it's just that entity or whatever you want to call it seems to stand out most unusual.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, that was a good one. Yes, good, Solana.
Okay. Do you have anything else for that?
No, I'm good on that because I just wanted to bring out the one how it reminded me of those aliens in the woods, and fact or
that's a freaky video. The one in Yellowstone, kind of like the night vision
mm-hmm.
security camera.
Right.
That I don't know how that was done. If it was manufactured or if it's a puppet, that's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's CGI.
Yeah, so, that's all I've got to say on that. Like I said, Space Cadets, we'd love to hear your 2 cents on this. Weigh in by looking at that video and giving us some feedback.
We've done history, we did French science, and the next topic is gaming.
Well, I like how you're going to the list, but what you got on gaming?
Well, the first thing I saw, just take a moment, I saw something that would maybe make you drool.
Yeah, well, let me see.
It's a 21-inch gaming laptop with a curved display.
Okay.
And it is an Acer. Mm-hmm. And it's got...
I do like my Acers, by the way.
It's got eye tracking technology in it for games, for in-game moves. Dual NVIDIA 1080 video cards, a KB Lake processor, and something that raised my eyebrow called Sound Pound, 4 speakers, 2 subwoofers. There's nowhere on the pricing because it just sounds insane.
It does sound insane. I don't know.
I can put a link to it.
How I would feel
chat.
about a curved monitor for my laptop. I mean, I don't mind for my desktop to be something curved. I know that we've seen many. We're thinking about a new TV to put in the living room.
It doesn't need curved. There's only 2 of us.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not thrilled with. I mean, it does make a kind of a good picture, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on curved TVs or.
You just want one bigger. We had a 40-inch and
it died.
It died, but you know what? It gave us a good run.
Oh, it did.
It lasted a long time.
The nice thing is that the next monitor, well, it will be kind of like a monitor. The next TV we get will be, the original 40-inch TV we had was about 4 inches thick.
It was not this new thin LED.
I mean, they were just. We got our big screen TV
right when they came out.
When they were starting to going that way, and now that they're thin, we can take. Go from a 40 to a 55 or maybe even a little bit bigger than that.
Well, the one we were forced to put in its place is the 32-inch LED, so it is somewhat thinner. But it's still not the current generation.
Beggars can't be choosers at this point, but at least we have a.
And when that goes out, we're screwed.
Oh no, we just had to get something, because we can't watch Mr. Robot on our phones or whatever.
Well, you've got an iPad and I've got a Kindle.
Anyway, we'll talk about that iPad another time and iPhones in general. I'm not too happy with iPhone and Apple and all of them right now. So, but anyway, actually, this is a good time. Let's talk about it. Okay, so iPhone complaint is that there was a time that iPhone allowed you to delete email messages from your POP account. And now they don't do that, No, you could, like, for example, how you have your phones. And did we just lose some sound here? It sounds like, there we go. You used to be able to delete your emails from your POP account via your iPhone. And now they don't do that. And so that kind of ticks me off. And so I had to go on to my Yahoo account and delete close to 90,000 emails that I had been building up over the many years of not deleting them. So anyway, long story short, they don't have that function anymore. And now also recently, what ticks me off is that, okay, so you have a certain amount of storage on, and we're getting some feedback again, and I'm trying to fix that.
New mixer board tomorrow.
Yes, the new mixer board goes in tomorrow. So the thing is that over time, you've built up a collection of applications for your phone, whether it be games or yada, yada, yada. Maybe it's that ad blocker, too, that is so popular for popping ads from popping up on your phone. So you're given a certain amount of space on the cloud. Now, I had changed a credit card recently, so now Apple does not automatically bill me for things like cloud storage, or the other rant and rave that I have is that they bill me for the music service that they have that I didn't really ask for it. Sorry, dry in the throat there. So once I did that, they stopped billing me for the music services. I didn't really care because I have Spotify. And so they were billing. I'm laughing because our cat is on the other side of the door.
You can hear.
Yeah. So, sorry, my throat is just all went out here. Could you speak for a minute, Solano?
Yeah. Try not to die over there. I I know that if I get another iPhone, I'm going to get one with a little bit more storage capacity. I think I have 8 gigs or 16.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, I'm back again. So the thing is that with time, you want to empty out the trash can every once in a while. Meaning that, let's say you downloaded a program that you don't need anymore. It was like a special time. You gotten over your Candy Crush addiction, and you decided to move on. And you want to just remove that so you can continue to have space on your cloud account. Well, apparently, Apple doesn't allow you to delete software off of your account, which I think that's crap, because what does that mean? That means that you have more applications that you might get in the future, and you'll run up the space until it's maxed out on your iCloud account. So what I'm gathering is, and you can chime in on this, is that if it's a racket, that they want you to keep all these applications, but they want you to pay for the space. So whenever you run out, they say, okay, here's X amount of space more, pay for it. So long story short, I'm looking at probably leaving iPhone altogether because of the racket that they're doing with their music, and then of course the racket with the.
I've seen your iPhone. Mm-hmm. That is an ambitious amount of stuff you've got on there.
Well, I use it all. I mean, there's everything that's on there. I use it in one way, fashion, or form. Thing is that I want the ability to get rid of some of the stuff that I have storage-wise, so that if I need an application that's current, that's different from what I've ever got on my phone. Like, for example, the new, we used to do that Urban Spoon, where we would find a restaurant and everything.
Don't have that anymore.
Well, apparently the application changed, and it forced me to download a new app instead of updating that particular app. So, it just really just grinds my gears to no avail to have to upgrade to a new app and then chomp down on the space I have, and not being able to delete the old application, because that's a fine example. I can't use the old application anymore, so why do I need to keep it inside my cloud account? It should be able to be deleted out, and the only option that I've seen is to hide it. And I don't know, it just grinds my gears. But speaking of grinding my gears, what really grinds my gears is some Space Boy music. And so let's take a break so I can cough out, and we'll come back. We'll talk some more Space Boy Universe stuff.
Okay.
And any day. listening to Space Boy Universe, and I am Space Boy, and you are
Solana.
That's correct. Yes, you are.
I'm the other one.
You cannot imagine that cough was just killing me, and throat got dried out. Had to gargle a little bit, get some refreshment going down. But yeah, it's iPhone. I guess let me just conclude by saying this about Apple in general.
Sure.
You know, it took a lot for me to go to an iPhone back many years ago. I was a BlackBerry user, and I know that's sad. You know, please don't hate me. Reserve your criticisms for later. But the BlackBerry smartphone I had, it worked. It did a good job. But then I came across the iPhone. I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. I've got everything I need in one-stop shop. I can listen to my music. I can take pictures, yada, yada, yada. And became an iPhone believer. And, of course, the magic seems to have gone. I don't feel the magic there that I experienced.
Are you going to get a divorce?
I think it's time for a divorce. Now, what worries me is because, you know, we are big fans of the Samsung products, and they're having some issues out there as well. I just know that, you know, I mean, I don't know. One, as a tech guy, I hate going into an iPhone place because, let's face it, those kids behind the counter, they're not geniuses. They're just lucky they got a job, you know, whatever they're doing, and, you know, they are not true technicians. And so I might be on a rant here, and I feel sore because of the iPhone situation. But, yeah, I think my days are numbered with iPhone. So, Solana, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay. I thought you'd find this interesting. We've got some more information on the Nintendo NX.
Ooh.
And this is, I guess, the next generation of Nintendo from the Wii to this. Mm-hmm. It says it's going to be region-free, which I didn't know that was a thing to be. So I guess if you've got some Japanese CD games, I think it's going to be able to work. It's going to have 32 gigs of internal storage. It'll be portable. Powered by NVIDIA Tegra technology. Mm-hmm. It was revealed recently that the graphics capability will be somewhere between a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4.
Oh, so it's a little beefy there for them. And but of course, what kind of games are there going to be on their system? I mean, are they going to be the typical?
That's what I was kind of wanting to learn. I don't think it's going to. I don't know if it's going to come with things like, you know, ours came with the, was it Wii Resort Wii Sports?
What I'm getting at is that Nintendo has been always notoriously known as the family game system, and not necessarily the gamers system, where, you know, Xbox, you know, you've got Halo and
multi-touch screen, and
dock PlayStation.
station.
I mean, you know, you have a wide range of games of. Like, God, I was just had it on the top of my head. But anyway, you get the idea is that they're, you know, more action games, more multiplayer games, and it'll be interesting to see. Now, I've heard rumors to the effect that Nintendo is thinking about going back to media based again.
Well, the prototype has a multi-touch screen, a dock station that has USB ports. Mm-hmm. And, you know, region-free for those interested in Japanese games, not released in this country. Mm-hmm. Like I said, 32 gigs of internal storage. And, let's see, a split D-pad and a share button. Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm. The directional pad, I guess something similar to Wii, where it has a separate thing. I've seen a prototype of the device, and you're supposed to be able to take that apart and, you know, and have the flexibility of not being all in one device and have your hands cramped up, but actually to give you the ability to, you know, you could have your hand above your head with a directional pad and then, you know, tap the button on, you know.
Oh, okay, I got
that kind of thing. So,
well, you know, and speaking of Nintendo, the thing that you're salivating about in this November is going to be out. This NES will be reborn this November, and it will not take any physical media, so don't break out your old cartridges.
That is kind of a shame. I wish that you know, some of these companies would lock on, because you have these game systems that are like Recon. They can play like old PlayStation, or not PlayStation, old Super NES games and NES games.
Your old game interfaces, game pads won't work either, your controllers.
Yeah.
So, but they say you will be able to use your classic Wii controller for Player 2.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the thing is that I will look forward to that. But, you know, a system I really wish, and they've put out, like, I think 5 versions of the Atari Flash Forward or whatever it's called, and it has games built in. But I would really love a brand new system that can allow me to play my old Atari 2600 games and the cartridges that I acquired courtesy of eBay and snipping, and play them on an actual system. I have a system, but it's really not set up to be played on the modern TVs that we have. It would be great if they could create a device that would be similar to that NES thing that's coming out, but allow me to put the cartridge in it to play some of the classic games as they were meant to be.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, what are you supposed to do with your classic media? You just sit there and look at it like, remember when?
And I think that's the companies need to get on the bandwagon. You know, that people of my age who have been around in the game market for a long time can be able to access, their old media, and I hate it when they come out with a new system and they say, oh, yeah, it's not backwards compatible. I mean, of course, the people out there go nuts because why am I going to buy a new system? In fact, that was the big concern back in the 90s with parents, and when the Sega war and Nintendo war was happening about who's going to be the best at whatever. Parents didn't understand, well, I just bought them this NES. Why am I going to pay for another system and I can't use the previous games? So, I mean, I know it's all about making money, but it seems to me that there should be some kind of middle ground, and they could still make money by allowing the original OGs like myself with some of these older
who actually have money.
I'd love to buy an Atari 2600. Like it was brand new, because I've bought a few systems and it's a hit and miss, and there's companies out there that do refurbishing of these things, but it'd be nice to actually buy something that's modernly made for TVs and all that good stuff.
You and I don't have an Xbox or a modern play. You still have a PS2, PlayStation 2, and we have a first generation Wii. That's all we have.
Well, let me explain that. And the reason is that once you hooked me up with Steam,
I don't need anything else.
I really came to the conclusion that why am I going to buy a system every 2 years and then not be able to play those games that I've purchased? Now I'm buying it, taking the same philosophy that we use for Amazon with watching movies, having digital content so I can watch it anywhere I want to. The thing with Steam is I can download it to any computer that I want to as long as I log in with my credentials. And so that's appealing to me, unlike, okay, I bought a new Nintendo. Okay, I bought an Xbox. Okay, I bought this. I could just go on to Steam and download the game, and whatever computer I'm on, if it can handle it, I can play that game.
So what if you could do that with PlayStation? So they're saying there is a game streaming service available through PlayStation, available on Windows computers in North America. You can grab the app, get started, 400 games in the catalog, and some more added games like, now maybe you'll know these, I don't know these, Mafia 2, Tomb Raider Game of the Year Edition, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, Civilization Revolution, Heavy Rain, Borderlands Ultimate Edition, and Sony revealed that Castlevania Harmony of Despair is being added in October.
Now that's exciting. I think that Nintendo's trying to think outside the box, give it to them because they've always been the innovators. I mean, they were the first to come up with the Wii controller that, motion to get people off the couch. They've always been, ahead of the game when it came to a lot of things. Now, will I consider doing that service? Yeah, for some of the games I've seen and read on that. That's exciting because that brings me back to playing one of the older games. I play modern games, but I still want to play some of those retro games. I'm excited about playing like the original Legend of Zelda, or playing the original Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exciting. Or playing the Sega Genesis Toe. I can't even think. Toe and Earth. I'm getting a Clank is one on PlayStation. I want to play. There's a rich amount of gaming history there that is waiting to be replayed. And if I had children, it'd be like, hey, let's play this. This is what your dad used to play as I was a kid, and kind of introduce them. I could see parents doing that to say, hey, this is what we used to do for fun. And, I'm really into playing all sorts of old-type games like that. And sometimes, once again, we see Nintendo setting the trend of what other companies should be doing.
Right. Well, speaking of Sony and all them, I put this story here because I haven't played this game, but it's the biggest scandal / disappointment in the gaming world right now. The headline is, Steam, Sony, and Amazon are all issuing refunds on No Man's Sky.
That is very disappointing because all the hype that went behind it and what they were saying that you could do. Just to give you a kind of brief synopsis, this game was supposed to allow you to go out into the universe and go to planets and
it's stunning visually. I love the look of it, the style.
Artistically, it looks great.
It's an action-adventure game for PlayStation 4 and Windows PC, and it's on Steam. It's exploration, survival, combat, and trading. It's procedurally generated in an open universe, and it's visually, like I said, the look is very cool. And players participate in a shared environment, and you can land on planets, fly through star systems.
And to give you an idea how immensely big this universe is, that it was something like quadrillion types of stars were in this universe. And so there would be no way in your lifetime to be able to transverse all the stars and all the planets and everything that's involved in it. And it just sounds like, wow, sign me up. I remember seeing videos for this, like you'll be able to do this and that.
You can watch people playing it on YouTube. So there are people who are enjoying it, though.
But I can't see paying $60 for it.
Well, this all comes after the expectations. They were so anticipated. Everybody was excited, and all that was dashed due to the performance issues, stability issues. They were promised these features, and they didn't make it in the release. And so people are like, okay, this doesn't have any appeal anymore. It's actually coming under criticism because of the sandbox open world exploration. There's not that much to do. But since its release earlier this month, that's, I guess, August 2016, No Man's Sky sales have dropped 81% despite topping the charts when it was launched. And Steam said the written notice is No Man's Sky page stating that its standard policy applies to the game, which states that a title can only be refunded before 2 hours of gameplay. I think they may have lifted that.
Well, I'm sure they got a lot of flack from it, but it's sad that a game that looks like it maybe they'll retool it, fix all the problems, and come back and say, hey, look, this is 2.0. It's better than the first one. Come and buy it now. But speaking of good games, there's a game that you and I have witnessed YouTube sensation PewDiePie play, and it's called Abzu. And
Abzu.
It's another stunningly looking game. And why don't you give us the 411 on that?
Oh, well, it's from the makers of Journey. If anybody has ever played Journey, that's another visually appealing, stunning. They're known. The people who make that are known for these really emotional stories. You get emotionally invested, and it really, gets you in the heart. But so Abzu is from the same people that made A Journey, and you just kind of go through. There's an objective, but you don't really know what it is unless you kind of maneuver around the environment. And Abzu takes place underwater, and there's a story that kind of unfolds. and you play the diver that goes through here, and you have to do some things and as to progress and get through different parts of this underwater world. And again, it visually, artistically, really stunning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as far as gaming goes, we would highly recommend that you check this game out.
I believe it's on Steam.
It's in Steam.
And we keep mentioning Steam. Steam, Valve Corporation, I think it's like steampowered.com or something like that. It is for PCs, and I guess also Mac and Linux, depending on the game, if they've been released for it. And it's once you sign up, you just install an engine. It stays on your computer, and it takes care of all your games for you. You buy games, and they have these ridiculous sales. Like, I saw a game for 50 cents.
Yeah.
Doom went on, the new Doom is like $60. One weekend went on sale for $30.
A couple games that I just have been out for a while that I just finished playing were Hotline Miami 1 and 2. It has a very retro look to it. In fact, it's the same manufacturers another game that I like. Still, in fact, I played it today, was Broforce.
Yeah.
And I love that game where it takes the action heroes of yesterday, of
very macho game.
It has Bruce Campbell as a Evil Dead character. It has Bruce Lee. It has the Alien.
All your tough superheroes. You know, it's got Bruce Willis. It's got Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone as their characters that they're known for.
Like Rambo.
You even get Ripley and that Michelle Rodriguez and, things like that.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, you should definitely check this out. It's kind of a side-to-side scroller.
It's a side scroller.
Yeah, and
it's just a shoot 'em up.
And a shoot 'em up, pure bombs and
every time you die, you get
reanimated
as a different character.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that.
You can play multiplayer.
I'm trying to think of the name of the company. It's Digital something, and maybe you can look that up, Solana. But highly recommend that. Yeah, it's got that. Once again, it's got that 8-bit feel to it, and it's really cool to play. And the Hotline Miami was the first and the second one. I just finished those, and those were really great. The music is awesome in this. Has that 80s feel to it because it takes place in the 80s. And so the 3 games right there, or 2 games if you want to call my Hotline Miami 1 game, and Broforce the other one, definitely. But the game that we were mentioning before, Abzu, is it?
Abzu. ABZU, I think.
Noel.
Abzu,
highly recommend that. It's just visually stunning. And, of course, like Solana is saying, once you get to the ending, you'll be pleasantly surprised with it. And that company does make some great games that kind of just draw you in emotionally. So what else we got there?
That's all I have for gaming. Do you have anything for music? I only have one thing.
Well, let's see here. I don't have anything musically. Well, actually, I could give everybody a Space Boy music update. I've been diligently working towards creating my next album called Unique Technique. I hope to have it done by the end of this year, but so far I'm looking at, and this is probably a first, 17 tracks for this album that will be coming out. Kind of an early thing. I'm sure at some point on Space Boy Music night on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You've heard little bits of me play parts of the album that it's going to be out, but I think there will be a night where it'll be an exclusive night for Unique Technique. And funny enough, I already have the name for the following album after that. The album's going to be called 2020 because it'll be my 20th CD release for Space Boy. So been rocking it hard since 1999 for Space Boy. And so, that'll be out. And, I'll give you the 411 when it's all said and done. But expect in the near future kind of a demo night of the music that is on that. And, it's all good in the neighborhood, as I like to say.
The only thing I have, and you probably know this, being the synth guy you are, Moog Music reintroduces the classic Mini Moog Model D synthesizer.
Cool. It's a great piece of equipment. I love Moog because of...
There's a Moog Fest.
Definitely all the bass lines and 80s music. You get a lot of that great piece of synth technology in a lot of their music. So that's what I have for music. I don't have really anything else. I mean, I do have other things that if you wish to go on further.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I was reading, mine's more commentary. So
sure, go ahead.
The other day, there was a kid who went to lunch at school. And he got up there, had his luncheon already, and he hands him a $2 bill. Mm-hmm. Well, what happens is that the cafeteria person said this is a fake and called the cops, and they arrested him and took him to jail. Now,
not even the cops knew a $2 bill?
I think once they got him to the police station, somebody had the sense of, came to their senses and said, wait, this is real. This is a $2 bill. And basically, I guess the mother at this point in the article was like, he didn't get his lunch. They took him to the police station, and they didn't even give him an apology. Now, I'm letting everybody know, you youngsters out there, there was a time when, and there's still some $2 bills in circulations, that they were using $2 bills out there. So this poor kid basically went through all this over the fact that he gave a $2 bill, and the people who were at the register
never saw him before.
Never saw a $2 bill or knew their American money and process.
Maybe it's time to take it out of rotation.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine if they were given a Sacagawea dollar, how that would go over too. You don't really see many of those. I mean, the intention of that.
Aren't you supposed to collect those, not spend them?
No, it was actually meant to do away with the dollar bill, because money. I guess dollar bills were. I don't know. They were expecting, like for example, in the days when they came out with the dollar bill, I fully expected that they were trying to get vending machines where you just put a Sacagawea dollar coin in, versus trying to put paper money into a vending machine. Mm-hmm. Of course, now you can do your credit cards, which is
just the drink machines at work, not the snack machines, but the drink machines at work will take paper bills, coins, and your credit card.
Mm-hmm. So poor kid. He pretty much got taken to jail and
over something legal.
Yeah, over something legal, exactly. Let's see here. I'm checking the time. No, okay, we're doing good there. Give a few more seconds here. So know your money, people. Here in America, at least. Let's see. What else do I have here? I do have another thing I want to bring up, but I really want to blast this break real quick here.
Sure.
It's Intellectual Love, and we'll be right back after this.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love.
Intellectual love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love.
Love. Love. Love. Love. Study. Women engaged in serious thought. Reflections of both about reality. Solutions to issues with society. Such discourse in public gains public opinion.
Extremely rational. Man relies on intellect, both devoid of emotions and feelings. Thoughts abstract on a general level. Such discourse in public gains public opinion. Profoundly tender.
Passionate affection for each other.
The need to embrace and kiss.
Benefit greatly from the knowledge of love. Such discourse in public gains public opinion.
You're listening to SpaceboyUniverse.com, and I'm your host, Spaceboy.
Oh, and I'm Solana, the other one.
Always catch her off guard.
I was retweeting. You know.
That's fine. You're doing what you need to do, and I love you for doing it. So, before we, I was going to mention this other topic that I have in front of me. It's more another what grinds or what gets my goat is basically what
we're going to have a new category. What gets my goat?
Yeah, it's basically I've always said when something makes me mad or something. Well, it gets my goat when this happens, and so the dollar bill thing really got my goat. But this other thing is about the Aurora massacre survivors are going to have to pay Cinemark legal bills.
I can't even talk about this one.
I mean,
it's just
I don't know. I'm hearing
defies all logic.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe that Cinemark is going to do something like that.
I think we should stop going to Cinemark.
Well, I'm not happy with them because of some other things, but I'm disappointed in the fact that a company is going to, after, somebody being shot and then having to pay, I think it was $700,000 worth of legal fees.
Why would they have to pay? Just because they
went
to court?
I think it has something to do with the fact that the company didn't create a safe environment for them, and if they judge sided with the I guess the people that were suing, then it would be that the Cinemark would be forced to set up detectors, and it'd have to admit that they're indeed not safe to go to the theater. So I don't know. From they could have made a judgment in favor for Cinemark, but at the same time, Cinemark could have said, you know what, that's it. You don't have to pay us the $700,000 that we're suing for, or whatever, for our legal fees. So I just think it's bad PR when if you're going to lash out at your audience, so to speak, or your customer.
It's kind of like, how dare you come see a movie and expect not to get shot?
Right. It's bad mojo all the way around, and I think that I wish that Cinemark would rethink their thing on this, and because we've been pretty good customers over the years with them, and and although we've tried to work something out with them in other things, we've still continued. But there's more than one theater here in town. And we'll have to look at the Regal, and we'll have to look at AMC.
They have better snacks anyway.
AMC is the other one we've been to many years ago.
Somebody told me to go to the Palladium out on 99.
It's
way out on Highway 99.
I hear that place is spectacular.
We should just check that out.
I tell you what, for Space Cadets, we'll go check that out and give a report back to you on what that place is all about.
In case you're ever in Katy, Texas.
You never know. Space Cadets can be anywhere and everywhere. And
that's Katy, isn't it? Or is it
it's out towards
Katy?
It's out towards Katy. But you're actually right. 99.
Katy's to the west of Houston on I-10.
So anyway, I have a list. Solana, don't you know my list?
Is this your poop list, or is this people on the poop list?
It's that list. Yeah, I can't really go into. I mean, Space Cadets can pretty much draw.
He
their
has
own
a list
conclusion.
of people that have wronged him, and he's got their names down for some reason.
I hate to sound like I'm bitter, but I do have my own list of people, and I'm not saying that Cinemark is on that list. You have to really, really do something to do me wrong to get to this list. But when you're on that list,
but I know the people that are on that list.
I don't. I'm not.
I'm not on the list. Hopefully,
I'm not easily forgiving when you get on that list because I feel like I'm honest with you. I'm upfront with you, and I give a part of me because I just don't. I
don't know what he's going to do with this list.
I'm just saying that
it exists.
If you're on that list and I see you broken down on the side of the road, flat tire, I'm going to look at you and smile and keep going. That's my list. So
that's pretty mild. It's not that bad.
Well, I have to make it lighthearted in the sense that this list. It's not like I'm going to do anything.
Oh, I got flat tires. Screw it.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, whatever. So where can we go from here, Solana? I mean, I've talked
pop
about
culture.
the everything else here. Yeah, let's do the pop culture.
And all I want to do is mention Gene Wilder. And how much I loved Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. Gene.
That was my movie, man.
As space cadets, hardcore space cadets know, I have Gene Hackman syndrome because of trying to remember Gene Wilder's name. And I have very fond memories of Willy Wonka when I was a kid. My parents took me to go see that movie along with my cousin. And I enjoyed the music. It was exciting, and then of course Silver Streak and some of the other movies that he's been a part of. And Young Frankenstein was great. I love that movie. It was sad to see him pass, but at least now he's with Gilda. I'm sorry.
I don't know how many times I've seen Young Frankenstein. Before I finally realized when they're going down that staircase for the first time that her candelabra, the candles were not lit.
Really? I'm going to have to watch it.
She says, stay close to the candles, and they're not lit. They were never lit the entire time. They're never lit.
Anyway, we're going to miss...
Put the candle back.
We'll miss him, and I'm sure at some point we'll watch Blazing Saddles or something like that, because you haven't seen that, and that's a classic. So, yeah, what other pop culture-y things?
Stranger Things,
too.
Oh,
my God. I've heard that this is going to be even scarier and in your face for season 2. I was glad that we finally got to see it. I'm glad I got to wait and we both experienced it together.
That's good.
And the kids have been making the rounds on TV, and now that they're stars. And so if you haven't seen this, once again, Netflix isn't on my list. Netflix is on a different list.
A good list.
The good list of how I brag about them.
The price hike.
Yeah, but considering what they,
what they give you,
when they
original
stuff.
They
bring you a show like this,
are you willing to pay $10 for it?
I'm willing to pay to see this. This is a good show, and this is not the only show that they've done. They have other fantastic shows that we've watched or you used to watch, but I'm still watching. Orange is the New Black. Stranger Things. It was phenomenal.
It's coming back in next year with new characters, so they've revealed some things if you're interested in learning.
Spoilers.
A new character. Well, it's already out there. It can't be spoilers. They're going to have a character called Max. It's going to be a 12 to 14-year-old female described as tough and confident, whose appearance and behavior and pursuits seem more typical of a boy than a girl of this era. And the premiere episode of Stranger Things Season 2 is titled Mad Max. There's going to be a character called Billy, which is Max's very muscular, hyper-confident older stepbrother. He drives a Camaro. There's rumors that Billy may have even killed someone at a school he attended in the past. The 9th episode of the second season is called The Lost Brother, so he may play a significant role in the new story. Roman is a 30-something who grew up homeless with a drug-addicted mother and suffered a great loss at an early age and is seeking revenge ever since. Roman is ultimately an outsider who doesn't understand how to connect with people. And interestingly, the name is male, but the role, it's kind of gender neutral. I don't know if they've cast a male or female yet. It could be, they even could change the name, but Roman's related to Barb somehow. And it says, we know that season 2 will bring justice for Barb.
Oh, good. Because...
hashtag justice for Barb.
Definitely hashtag that. It was... And a funny thing about Barb is that she wasn't, going to be that much of a major character, and she's turned out to be like... you go and
that was her first acting role.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That character, that girl who played that, is her first acting role, and she died.
The thing is that I remember going to school with, girls that looked like her.
I guess we didn't know much about her.
Spot on with it as far as the look of the time.
She didn't seem like she was trying to fit in. She seems like she was okay with where she was in high school, and she kept saying, Nancy, this isn't you're changing.
You know what's funny about that episode? Remember, I was thinking, okay, classic horror movies, it's usually the kids that are doing the drugs and doing the sex and all that stuff are the ones that get killed in the classic horror movies during this time. And Barb was the one that was like, no, you shouldn't do that. You're not like this. Why are you doing this? And
why did she stay there after Nancy told her she could go home? She should have gone home.
She went out and pouted at the pool with her bleeding hand, and that's what triggered off the issue of her being pulled to the other side. Upside down, yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see her get, somebody taking care of her side of the situation there.
You can call in if you want to, by the way, anytime, if you'd like to. Comment on something we've talked about, or since it's Topic Roulette, you can mention pretty much anything you want. Mm-hmm. I got one thing left, but it can be easily bumped if you're more interesting.
Is it technology related?
It can be. I'm going to save this section in case we need filler and go straight to technology. Mm-hmm. So, in OMG Tech News, you're going to have to strap me down. I'm so excited about this. Google Chrome will start blocking all Flash content next month, which is September, which is now.
Thank God.
Or October. It's October 2016.
I am so tired of dealing with Flash. Not that I don't like Adobe. I love Adobe. Flash's time has come and gone. I mean, even in the old days, you had to deal with, what was it? Steve Jobs had enough of Flash's.
He saw back then it was.
Yeah, it was
crap.
Yeah, he saw the future. I guess HTML5 is the way that things are going to go.
So the content that Flash handles, HTML5 is the way to go, but the adoption rate of HTML5 has been painfully slow, which is whack, in my opinion, because HTML5 coded content works on all mobile devices, which Flash never has and never will. So this month, it's this month, 2016, September 2016, Google Chrome will start blocking all Flash content. This means Flash encoded videos, Flash-based web games, and embedded animations, which is going to affect me, but this will come as part of the Chrome 53 update, and it will block all the small non-visible Flash elements on web pages, and these are usually platforms and page analytics, but they can also slow down page loads like larger Flash content. And it's not Google's first attempt to de-emphasize Flash on the web. Some of them are blocked in general, and then it'll make you say, do you want to run this Flash content? So they may have some temporary exceptions for certain sites that rely heavily on Flash. And we have a caller, and this mouse is not working.
Use the pad up there.
Okay. Hello, caller. Are you with us?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
You here?
It's Eric.
Hello, hey, Eric. How are you, sir?
Hey, I want to pick your brain about this crash that happened, SpaceX crash. So that was in Florida, right? A few days ago?
Yeah, with SpaceX.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect. We paused and
Okay, I can't hear you very well.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I'm seeing all these videos on YouTube and Twitter. People are posting, and it looks like there's something that flies by very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So of course there's all this speculation that maybe it was craft blowing up, whatever. So do you guys have an opinion on this, or do you think this is CGI? People are just getting excited and making all these videos, or did this really happen? Do we really have something fly by at the same time that this craft or this rocket exploded?
You want me to take that one?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
sure.
Well, basically, this goes again. Do you believe what you see? Is it true? I mean, how can you trust something that could be possibly faked, as we've seen so many times? It looks more convincing than the usual things that we've seen out there with the orbs kind of hanging around. But
what would be the end goal of knocking that rocket down so Facebook couldn't do whatever it was going to do?
Well, the original purpose for the satellite was to go up and provide coverage for, like, I guess, third world countries where they can't get.
I'm listening to you guys, but I don't hear you. Just so you know.
Okay. To provide a kind of a third world countries the ability to communicate where they can't get internet out there to them. So why would you not? I mean, it seems like a good idea. Now,
they're trying to bring everyone onto Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is that
escape.
This is not the first. Yes, we're still here. Can you hear us?
Pretty well.
Now, basically, you've had the UFOs that have gone over nuclear missiles, and reprogrammed them, and that was being those situations. But as far as this orb is concerned,
I'm going to hang up, guys, because I can't hear you.
Not a problem.
Thanks for taking my call.
Not a problem. We'll talk to you. We'll continue the conversation off the air, sir. Okay. So basically, what I was saying is that do we believe that it's a possible UFO? Yes, it is a UFO.
Because we don't know what it is. It's unidentified.
It's unidentified. Is it extraterrestrial? There's not enough information to convey that. It's on the screen for a split second.
Yeah,
so,
I'm thinking, okay, so maybe was this a random flyby? Let's say it was a UFO's version of a drive-by shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, we just knocked that thing out because it was fun. Or we're like, we don't want Facebook in space. Come on, y'all are stupid.
I don't believe that it's a drone as we know it. So at the end of the day, what do I think on this is that...
maybe there's something else on that rocket that we don't know about?
I think that, it could see...
with another agenda?
Yes. I guess at the end of the day, it's a mystery. And
wrapped in enigma,
and
wrapped in a puzzle.
It's important that you look at this as a skeptic, in the sense that keeping your mind open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an anomaly that it deserves your open mind to wrap around this situation. So that's where I would go on this. Is that it's an unknown object. And is it there? I mean, I surely believe it's there.
The word UFO doesn't necessarily mean alien. It means it's an object that can't be identified.
Exactly. So that's where we stand, at least. Would you agree, Solana?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually need to go look at that. But if that video is flash enabled, I might be out of luck. So
well, anyway, Eric, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Sorry that we had some technical difficulties, but starting soon,
the battery went out on this wireless mouse.
We are going to have new mixer board to fix a lot of these problems that we've been having. And so, where do we go from here? So
he posted in chat. Eric says he read that they think it might have nukes on it.
I don't doubt for a second that there could be something beyond there.
Oh, look who's calling.
Who do we got here?
I don't know. It's some random person.
Caller, you're on the air. Who's this? Yeah, that's strange how we're not getting any kind of sound.
Last night for this mixer board.
Can you hear us, caller?
It's K28.
Is it K28?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can hear him breathing.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Kay?
It's not a dirty phone call, is
it? Kay, are you out?
No, this is K28.
Yes, we know.
We know.
Can you hear us, K28?
I can barely hear you.
Oh, well,
what is that?
I don't understand why.
The universe is blank tonight, I guess.
Well, this is the universe's last night on this mixer board. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, I'm under a starry silence.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah, the reception is not that good here.
Yeah.
So at least
that
I
could be it.
hear something.
Well, it's better than when we hear you in a car or a diesel truck whenever you're driving. So hey, man, I am so glad to hear from you on the air. This is kind of like I can't recall the last time we had you on the air.
Oh, it's been 2 months.
He's got it. He's got a calendar somewhere. It's marked.
Space Boy mentioned me here. Space Boy. So you're going to be coming to Houston.
Well, I'm looking towards the third week in September to go there.
Okay. Well, I know that
it's the 24th around that time.
Yeah, I know that we'll probably team up with you and have dinner with you, and it'll be great to see you.
No, you're just presuming he wants to see us.
Well,
maybe he doesn't.
Come on, we've made him a rock star. He's got his own constellation, the K-28 belt, and
yeah, I'm looking in the western sky right now. I can see myself there.
So what's on your mind?
The Lana Majoris is kind of foggy, though.
She can be that way.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
So do you got anything to add to the show tonight, Kay?
Well, you were talking about video games earlier, and I just saw a new one last week called Abduction.
Yes.
So that's a great game.
You want to tell the audience a little bit about it?
So that's the one, the latest installment of Myst. Remember Myst?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that made me so angry.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Oh,
that made me so angry. Myst.
Yeah, this is the latest one. So I was a Kickstarter campaigner on that, and so I'm in the credits.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool, though. Yeah. I still won't play it. It makes me angry.
It's a great game. You get abducted and taken to Houston, Texas.
Oh,
really? Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Now, that might have been interesting.
Yeah, the Space Boy can make that game, I guess. Yeah.
So are you out away from your home base there, Kay?
Yeah, about 200 miles north. I'm up in the Sierras.
Is it work-related or just a vacation?
We have some friends living here, so we're on the part of a country club. That's where the home is.
Oh, cool.
So I'm outside. I do see the golf course. Even though it's dark, you can see a little bit of it. But for most of it, I just see a clear sky. There's no light pollution here.
Nice.
So it's pretty nice.
And the photos you're putting on Twitter are gorgeous.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the first hour of the show because I was at the Indian Casino, and there's no reception there. So.
Well, K28, I'm glad you brought that up because, you can never miss a show with Space Boy Universe because we're on demand and so many.
I heard every single one. I also heard all the music ones, too.
Good. I'm glad. Hey, and before we let you go, I like to make sure to tell you while we're on the air, thank you for being such a good friend. Oh,
you're welcome. I'm glad that you and Savannah are both there every week.
Well, you helped us through the dark period that we had to go through.
Yes.
And I wanted to just say this in front of all the Space Cadets that there is no better person than K28, and I've told him that I feel blessed to be your friend. And
you two are the best I heard so far on the radio.
Oh, well, thank you. And you're not on that list that I was talking about earlier. You're on the good list.
Oh, yeah.
Well, K28, thanks for calling in. But like I said, we're looking forward to you coming to Houston, and I'll make sure that you have my contact information so that when you get here, you can call me and we'll team up.
Okay, that's what we do.
All right.
See
Bye.
you.
Bye, K28.
Bye.
Bye.
I believe Dino's trying to call. I tried to add him to the call. Here he is again.
Let's see.
Bear with me. This mouse died.
Dino, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, how are you, Dino?
I'm here, but you're sounding distant, very distant. I just wanted to say hello.
Okay. Usually it's her that's distant.
Emotionally distant.
Am I coming through? Or
Oh, yes.
I can barely hear both of you.
I wished I knew why it's so distant. It could be something with the Skype that needs to be turned up, but we can hear you perfect, though. And,
okay, well, you're way in the background with some static. I know it's probably the DIA because I'm very concerned about this SpaceX rocket that blew up. At first I thought, coincidence, but as I've been watching the videos this weekend and looking at how it seemed to blow up from the top, not the bottom like most rockets,
Right.
and I do see things flying by, so I'm beginning to wonder what's going on.
Well, I like what Solana kind of mentioned, having a nuclear payload on there or something. Or was that Eric?
Eric mentioned chat.
That. So, yeah, no telling what could have been on that rocket. And, I try to, keep an open mind in this situation because you do see a craft of some kind. And the way, I like how you explain the explosion part, too. It definitely makes you go, there seems to be something not normal here.
Well, I could barely hear you, so we'll wait till you get that new board. It definitely is Mercury retrograde, but I think we both agree there's something going on.
Patrick,
so I will
tell us about
I will
that.
join you again next time.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dino.
Thank you, Dino.
That really aggravates me.
Well, the new mixer's sitting here in the room in the box. We didn't want to tamper with anything with it tonight, just in case something went wrong. But tomorrow we will be. What we need is another person to call from Skype to make that work sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. But so it'll be nice to finally get that all fixed. We got another caller?
No, but
I think that there's something that in the line in that is not turned up, and that's why they probably are not getting.
Because this computer that Skype is on has got the volume cranked.
Yeah, but that's the volume for
the computer,
here, but for them, the line in, is not probably turned up. And that's why they barely hear us.
But your new mixer has all that.
You know what? It was saying I was distant. It's probably going off the microphone, off the main board, and not.
It is
it's
distant
not
from you. Yeah.
When he said distant, that just clued it in. There's a setting in there that it's Skype. I know exactly what it is. But anyway, so Solana, we had Topic Roulette tonight. I love the fact that everybody came in and. To the chat room and chatted it up with us. So it's a good night. What do you say?
Yeah, I think so. And it's going to get better once we get some of our equipment upgraded. And we're probably going to have some frozen pizza now. I mean, we'll cook it first. But
now, let's do some housekeeping before we go. Now, next week's show is Micah Hanks. Man, I cannot wait to talk to Micah. I am so jazzed. That should be a pretty good show. And... we'll have to brush up on a couple
I'll
of
have
the
to
show.
brush up on that because I don't know him.
But at least I'm sure for you nerds out there, we'll be talking some Doctor Who or something to that effect. So that'll be kind of cool to do. And let's see what else we got here. So that is what we got lined up. Spaceboy Music will be back Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you just want to hang out with us, Wednesday we do a show for the music, and it's mostly chatting. And, there might be some repetitive music in there, but if you'll just bear with us, it's not about necessarily just the music. It's about hanging out and having a community and sharing things together.
And don't forget, the 24th is our first year anniversary show.
So on that note, let's see here. Get that pumped up there. And so I guess say goodnight, Solana.
Good night, Solana.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Sir Lana. Executive producer is Sir Lana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee N. K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Sir Lana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.